kicking back on this summer breeze. Welcome to Double K's Classroom. Class is officially in session.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Double K's Classroom. Decided to go pre-recorded this week. Had some stuff that I wanted to do that happened at around 8 o'clock. So unfortunately not going to be on live, but here I am pre-recorded for y'all to bring y'all this sports knowledge. Really all I'm going to talk about this week is just taking a look at the early preseason. Regular season starts next week for the NBA. Just so y'all know who I'm talking about. The regular season starts next week for the NBA, and the preseason has taken place. Now, the first thing we want to talk about for me kind of had a silly schedule. I think they played a total of 5 games, but like 4 of them are against the same team. They played the Lakers and the T-Wolves all preseason. They beat the T-Wolves, and I believe they're 0-3 against the Lakers. And it's just, it's preseason. The Warriors are still figuring everything out. They just recently brought on Marquise Chris and released a mainstay player in Alfonso McKinney. Sorry. And Alfonso McKinney, a fan favorite at that, in order to make room for Marquise Chris, who they feel probably is a better defensive and offensive player than considering he was the top 6 pick, I believe, or top 10 pick. I'll say, a better player than what McKinney offers, but I don't know. Like, I liked McKinney. I thought he brought heart. I thought he brought fire to the lineup, and I liked what he did. They also brought in Scottie Pippen's son, but I don't think he's going to make the main roster. He'll probably end up down in Santa Cruz. I forgot his first name, but he's Scottie Pippen's son. But yeah, they've been making some moves to try to make this roster as good as possible going into the season. They know they're going to start without Clay. They just announced that Glenn Robinson Jr. will hold down the spot that Clay will most likely occupy, the small forward spot when he gets back. Or Glenn Robinson the third. It will be there. So we got Scottie Pippen's son. We got Glenn Robinson the third. Alfonso McKinney. Nah, this Warriors team is definitely looking different than it ever has in the past. But I'm excited for this season. I'm excited. The Lakers, if I was a Lakers fan, I'd probably be pretty excited myself as well. The Lakers are due a pretty good season. They haven't had one in a while. Last year they thought it was going to happen with LeBron James. And the fact that LeBron came to LA and they thought it was going to be that year where they win the chip and they undo the Warriors, but it ended up being the Raptors that undid the Warriors. And I don't even think that the Lakers could have if they wanted to, but it ended up being the Raptors that undid the Warriors in the finals. But the Lakers did not make the playoffs and look to improve upon that this year and look like they have a team ready to do it with Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, LeBron James, Rajon Rondo. These guys know what they're doing. These guys are championship-winning veterans outside of Anthony Davis, and I think they'll make this work. But here's the thing with the Lakers. I don't necessarily think that they're going to jump out the gate and be like a 70-win team. I honestly think it's going to take some time for them to gel. Yeah, they're going to be better than teams like the Warriors, who don't have a lot going on the inside as far as players. Like Willie Cauley-Stein is nice, and so is Kevin Looney, but they're not exactly Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee and LeBron James. So these players can be effective, but they may not necessarily be as effective against that trio. Um, but the Lakers are 3-2 this preseason, having beaten the Warriors for all three of their wins, and they lost both their games, I believe, in China. So the Lakers are a team that I see getting better, starting out rough, like maybe starting out 500, getting close to the All-Star break, and then kicking into gear and end up playing well, getting the playoff seed and playing well deep into the playoffs, possibly the conference championship. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. The Kings are also doing well. De'Aaron Fox and them boys over there in Sacramento, out here in Sacramento where I'm at, playing well enough that I think that they have a solid shot at making the playoffs this year as a 7 or an 8 seed. I know I've said that before multiple times, but this time I think this is a year where they can actually sustain it. They got a great coach. They got some great centerpieces available to them. Of course, they don't have Cauley-Stein anymore, but that's okay. I think that they have players that can step up and that can help them win, and I think that's proven by their 3-2 record. So the next team that's coming up is, the next team that's out there that got better with the addition of DeAndre Ayton, but who knows how much better. I'll say who knows how much better they've gotten. I say they've gotten a lot better. I think people should watch out for Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, that the Suns are going to be a team to be reckoned with, whether people like it or not. But we'll see how that plays out, because I've been wrong with them before. I thought they were a playoff team like 2 years ago, and they didn't really turn out to be that way. Those four teams specifically interest me because, and a team we're going to cover after the lesson of the day in the commercial break, intrigue me because they all play in the same division. So if we had the division going right now, the Lakers and Kings would be sitting on top, with the Suns right behind them, the Clippers right behind them, and then the Warriors in last place. And that kills me to say, but I don't think they'll play that horrible during the regular season. And like I said, Steph hasn't exactly played full games. I don't even believe he played the last game against the Lakers. So, all right, so key players for each team. Steph for the Warriors, of course. I think it's Anthony Davis over LeBron. Over LeBron for most important player for the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox, his growth is going to be critical for the Kings, and then I think it's DeAndre Ayton's growth that's going to make the major difference for the Phoenix Suns. So that's my players to look out for. That's my thoughts on those teams, and I'll give you my actual prediction for who's going to be in the NBA Finals and my thoughts on the upcoming season for the 6 teams that we're going to be talking about here today. Next up, we're going to be going to commercial break for a couple of quick promos, podcast promos, and then we're going to come back with my lesson of the day, where I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the whole Antonio Brown situation and just kind of give you my overall thoughts on it is what I'm going to do. Is just give you my overall thoughts. So, you're listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4H Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Peace.
Interruption in progress. Now hijacking into ANS 2.0 immersion rig. Now simulating the amazing nerd show. Featuring comics.
And Batman's like, you're safe here and everything, but the Joker all of a sudden pulls out a gun and shoots himself.
Movies.
People fight with lightsabers. What the hell do you want? I mean, in every one of these movies, there's a lightsaber battle.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna rewatch it a million times.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, give me something more.
Wrestling.
That would be awesome. Oh my god, just a monster. Fans would be like, holy, what the hell's going on? What happened to Jericho?
Horror.
It starts off like any other like home invasion type of story, and then it just goes crazy.
And more.
Hey, this is Christian.
Hey, this is Dan.
And we are the Amazing Nerd Show.
Make sure to download us on all your favorite podcast platforms. So, what's up? Steve Fingerstyles here, the host of the podcast spelled DA, of course. Tune in each and every week to hear what pisses me off, what angers me, what I make fun of, and of course, my crazy rants. I also have incompetent co-hosts, cool guests, and a silent producer that sucks. So what more do you need from a podcast? You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and the Pod Bros Network. Peace.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
All right, so I promised you that I would give you my thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation. And it's as simple as this, y'all. This dude is just plain insane. Like, and I don't mean that in a, oh, he crazy type way. I mean, like, the dude needs some help. Like he needs to be seen by a psychiatrist and talk to somebody and get some help. Because he genuinely believes that in this entire situation that he's been through the last 6, 8, 9, 10 months, he's done nothing wrong. And to not be able to see your own fault when 90% of what you're going through is literally on you. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to process that. You know, I'm like, he needs help before any other team signs him. Like, there was talk of the 49ers signing him, or, you know, or who was it that was saying that the 49ers, Dante Whitner was saying earlier today that the 49ers should sign him. And I'm like, why? What purpose would it serve? What would it do? Like, would he truly be somebody that would be a positive influence in the 49er locker room? Is he truly somebody that would be the stand-up type of guy that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are looking for? Because bottom line is, like, John Gruden will damn near let you get away with anything as long as you're producing on the field. And he said as much multiple times. And Antonio Brown couldn't last in fucking Oakland. With a coach that would damn near let him do whatever the hell he wanted to do, he couldn't last. Then he goes to New England, and all he had to do was just not get in any more trouble. That's all he had to do. And all of a sudden, people start accusing him of sexual assault and this and that. And yeah, I know he can't control that, but damn, dude. Sometimes I wonder how much rain can fall on somebody before you begin to think that, damn, dude, maybe they turning over the bucket on themselves. And that's where I'm at with Antonio Brown. Is like, at what point does he realize and understand, shit, I did this shit to myself. Maybe I just need to keep my goddamn mouth shut for a little while. And maybe people will forget what happened and sign me someplace else. But to compare him to somebody that I saw had a similar career path and just as much talent was Terrell Owens. T.O. finally got into the Hall of Fame where he belonged. And Antonio Brown will eventually be in the Hall of Fame where he belongs. But at the end of the day, ultimately they led similar paths. Like, they led similar paths through their career, and including the craziness and being playing for one of the storied franchises in the NFL, like the Patriots, or now storied because of all the winning they've been doing, but storied in the Patriots, and then playing for T.O. played for the Cowboys. Like, man. But I hate to see all this talent just wasted, which is effectively what it is, wasted. Like, and I'm good. Like, I as far as being a San Francisco 49ers fan, I don't care how bad we need a number one, I don't care how bad we need a number one receiver. Antonio Brown is not that receiver that we need. I'd rather they bring in Dez Bryant. I know he was a nuisance on the field, but he produced, or nuisance in the locker room sometimes, but he produced on the field and handled his business. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in a I'll say, I would, I'd rather have him than fucking whatchamacallit, and he's a couple years older than Antonio Brown. I know that sounds stupid for a lot of people, but my God, man, I'm good. Antonio Brown has done too much. It's time to let Antonio Brown go. Go someplace else. And don't even let him go someplace else. Just leave him be. Let him sit at home and ponder what the fuck got him into the situation in the first place. So that's my lesson of the day. If money's on the line, don't be an ass. Handle your business, get paid, do your thing, and worry about all the silliness later. That's been Double K's lesson of the day. Y'all have a good evening. I'll come right back to talk a little bit more about 2 more teams from the NBA preseason and then give you my thoughts on the upcoming season and some predictions for who will be in the finals. You're listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4AC Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Peace.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
From the galactic depths of the comic book universe comes the ghosts of the stratosphere, ready to galvanize and energize your mind with the latest of comic book news and reviews. And why are you stopping me? Yes, that's much better. Hi, this is Andy Larson for Ghosts of the Stratosphere. Join me every week along with my co-hosts Rob Stewart and Chad Smith, as well as a cavalcade of fantastic comic book guests as we dish out heaping helpings of the greatest and latest of comic book news and reviews. New shows posted every Tuesday with bonus shows every first Friday of the month. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher under Ghosts of the Stratosphere, as well as on our website www.gotstratosphere.com. Hope to see you soon, folks.
Game ticket, $50. Hot dog, $8. Team store item, $25.
I told him I can beat him with one hand tied behind my back, with some glasses on, with one eye lens out, with some flip-flops on in the ring.
Haven't you listened to someone's dumb sports opinions? Worthless. Some people shouldn't talk sports. For everyone else, there's the Unspoken Podcast, available on most podcasting platforms, and on the web at theUnspokenSportsPodcast.weebly.com.
Sorry about that. Auto DJ gets me again. Let's see. All right, so now let's talk Clippers. We had the biggest offseason addition in their history, adding Kawhi Leonard this past offseason. He hasn't played much of this preseason. At the preseason, I'll say so they're 2-3 right now as the rest of the team is learning to gel around him. I'll say sorry. So the addition of Kawhi Leonard makes them a threat. I think that defensively they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. So I believe that they will be one of the best teams in the league, especially defensively, and stand on top of at least the Pacific Division, if not the Western Conference, depending on how the Rockets and the Nuggets pan out. But the Clippers are a team that I would keep my eye out for. This preseason they've been playing well. Like I said, despite their record of 2-3, they would be sitting about in the middle of the division right about now. But the Blazers, on the other hand, are a team that could be good, could be bad. It all depends on what happens. Who knows? I think that they're a team that can be dangerous, like they were last year in the playoffs when he waved goodbye to Oklahoma City, or they're a team that could fall apart like they did in the conference championship against the Warriors when they really should have had the better of the Warriors. And so I think that they're a team to keep an eye on as far as they could surprise you. I'll say. So look, thinking of upcoming season, 538 has their predictions on who the top teams in the NBA are going to be this season record wise. The number one top team that they have is the Rockets with 57 wins and an average plus 6 point and a 98% chance to make the playoffs. Let's see. The Bucks out of the East are a 99% chance to make the playoffs with 54 wins. I want to say the Nuggets are third, tied with the 76ers for third best record with 53 wins. Let's see, the Clippers with 52 wins come in behind the Nuggets and 76ers. With the 91%, the Jazz come in at 51 wins. They only have the Warriors at 49, which is possible. You know, the Warriors could end up around that area. They could end up with 50 or more. I'm not saying they're going to be a 60 or 70 win team by any stretch. The Raptors are come in at 47, so they would be third in the East, which I could see. The Celtics are fourth with 46, but that's about as far down as I went. But all those teams have at least an 80% chance or an 80%, 70% chance. Sorry, is the lowest with the Lakers of making the playoffs. Yeah, Lakers are at 47 wins, tied with the Raptors. Let's see. Sorry, but the teams with the best chance to make the finals are the Rockets, the Bucks, the 76ers, and the Clippers. And the team according to 538 that has the best shot to win the title is actually the Houston Rockets. That blows my mind. That completely blows my mind. Let's see. So we'll see where everybody lands. My prediction as far as the finals go is going to be Clippers Bucks, and that's just because I think Kawhi Leonard is good enough to get him there again. And I think if Kawhi Leonard is good enough to get him there again, the Bucks so I think that Kawhi Leonard could definitely hold him up and win his third title with a third different team in his back-to-back third NBA Finals MVP. So look out for the Clippers. I think that they'll end up facing the Lakers in the conference finals, and the Bucks will end up facing the 76ers, and it'll be Bucks-Clippers for the finals. So that's my prediction. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Double K's Classroom. Sorry if I've been a little bit distracted. I will get back to you guys next week with my 4 choices for jazz musicians to choose from. Probably like Dizzy Gillespie, Coltrane, people like that. And yeah, you'll get to choose that. And don't forget, this weekend we got Mr. Deacon's Experience tomorrow. This week we have Mr. Deacon's Experience tomorrow. We have a full lineup on Sunday. Inspire Radio, Brick House, not Inspire, sorry, Brick House, West Coast Bias, Cheap Pop Podcast, Lip Gloss and Mics, and Now versus Then. And then on Monday we have Dirty Talk 101. Tuesday, Kings and Queens of Porn. Wednesday is Wednesday is free. Thursday is Lovely Radio, and then Friday back here with KD5P. So y'all be sure to tune in to all that this week. It should be great. And I'll check y'all out in 2 weeks when I am going to be talking. Oh, I have not decided yet. It'll be a surprise. You can find me on Facebook at Double KK Double, or Double KK Double fan page. You can find me on Twitter at Double KK Double. You can also find me on Twitter, and you can also check out my blogs at K Double's Main Event and Double K's Classroom.blogspot.com for both of those. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Y'all have a great night. Peace.